Do you have shiny object syndrome? It's not a medical condition, but something that describes the way that when we run our own business, it's all too easy for us to get pulled off track by a new and exciting idea, which may or may not be right for our business, or not right now. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 important questions to ask yourself to identify if you're on track or if it's shiny object syndrome. My name's Rachel Roberts. I help ELT and ESL freelancers work out the best ways to use their talents so they can earn more and work less. If, like me, you're the kind of person that's generally interested in learning new things and gets excited about their business, that's generally a good thing. But equally, most of us have limited time and energy. And going off at tangents can really slow down the progress of your business. Does that sound a bit like you? Let me know in the comments. It's human nature to be excited by new ideas and experiences. And particularly now that we're online, we can see what hundreds of other business owners are up to and feel pressure to keep up or to compete with them. But by constantly chasing after new opportunities, it's easy to become overwhelmed, leading to a lack of progress and a feeling of frustration. It can even be a form of procrastination or avoiding the things that you really need to do to move the needle in your business. So, how can you know if your latest great idea is really a good idea or a shiny object? Here are some questions to ask yourself. 1. How does this relate to my business goals? If you don't actually know what your business goals are, that's the place to start. Sometimes people see goals as a straitjacket, but if you don't actually know where you're trying to get, how are you going to know when you get there? Assuming you do know what your business goals are, ask yourself how well what you're thinking of doing fits in with that. For example, one of my business goals this year was to streamline my business more, so there aren't quite so many moving parts. Not every learning opportunity is going to help me with that, and some might actively undermine it by making my business more and more complex. 2, and this is the bottom line, consider how it will help you save time or bring in more money or clients. This isn't the only reason to do something, obviously, but when you have a business, it's pretty important that the bottom line makes sense. Try and be as specific as possible about this. Of course, it's not always easy to know or predict whether something is going to bring in more money or save you time. But try and work this out. Is what you're thinking of doing just going to create a marginal benefit, or does it have the potential to do much more than that? I would say that my 3-month group program, Flourishing Foundations, will not only lead to you earning more, but will also save you all the time, energy, and expensive coaching that I paid for to learn what I'm now teaching you. So that's a bargain. Find out more via the link in the video description. 3, ask yourself, how much do I really know about this opportunity? Do I need to do some more research before jumping off the deep end? Probably yes. If it's a big investment, take some time to think about it. It's really easy to get pulled in by a time-limited offer or a fear of missing out, but take a breath. If it's a course, look at testimonials, maybe even talk to some of the people who've done the course before. If it's a product, read reviews, and not just the good ones. 4, how much will it cost me to do this? This is both in terms of money and, probably just as importantly, time. Try to be realistic about this. Ask for an estimate if it's a course you're thinking of taking. You need to know what the price is, both financially and in terms of time, before you commit. If something's going to take many hours, that's a lot of time when you could be making money. That's fine if it will ultimately lead to you making more money and saving more time, but not so good if it's never going to lead to more than a few hundred extra pounds a year. What good and bad business investments have you made? Tell me in the comments. Ask yourself, do I already have something available to me which could do the same job? And if there is something, what tweaks might I need to make to it? This perhaps particularly applies to software. If you already pay for Microsoft 365, maybe you don't need to invest in Zoom. Now for me, I do have both of these, but that's a conscious choice because I really like the Zoom platform. I find it much more intuitive than Microsoft, but it's definitely something to weigh up. It could also apply to an offer in your business. If you already have a lead magnet that's working pretty well, maybe you don't need to create a totally new one, but you could tweak it so that it would work better. If you're already getting clients through Instagram, maybe you could double down on that, make that work even better rather than starting again from scratch on TikTok. Of course, you have to weigh up the amount of time that you might spend trying to make something that's not actually fit for purpose serve your needs. But it's certainly something to think about first. 6. What red flags are popping up for you already that you're trying to ignore? For example, maybe you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel when in fact you know that you hate being on video and that you'll probably never get round to making the videos. You might be able to overcome things like this. They could just be your inner troll talking, but ignoring them isn't the way to go. You need to hold those red flags up to the light, investigate them, and make sure that you're ready and happy to go ahead. 7. What will I give up or not do, at least temporarily, if I decide to spend my money and budget on this? And how do I feel about that? Now, you might feel ecstatic because perhaps the thing that you won't have the time, energy, or money to do isn't actually something that is good for you or your business. Or you might feel willing to make this sacrifice because what you're planning to do is worth it. But we only have so many hours in the day. So if you take on something new, something else will have to go, and make sure that you are actually okay with that. What's the minimum I could do to test out this idea before I fully commit? This is similar to the idea of creating a minimum viable product to test before you bring something to market. Now, this might not always be strictly possible, but if you're thinking of doing a video making course, for example, maybe start by playing around a bit with the idea of video, thinking about how you might use it in your business. If you're thinking about whether you might want to work with me on my group program, maybe you should try joining my membership, the Confident ELT Freelancer Collective, first, so that you can see whether you like the way that I work and the kinds of things that I'd be teaching you. Or if you have an idea for a new group program, maybe try it out as a beta offer first at a reduced price so that you can get feedback and change the course as you go along to better fit the needs of your participants. So, 8 questions to ask yourself to find out whether or not this is a shiny object syndrome moment. I hope you found that's helpful, and I really don't want to put you off being enthusiastic about trying out new things. But I also want to give you the very best chance of achieving everything that you can with your business. In the next video coming up on your screen, I'm going to be talking about the importance of having goals for your business and simple ways that you can start to set and review these goals for yourself.